Well, good evening and thank you for tuning in tonight. I'm Jurnee Taylor. For the past few days, things have been quite warm, especially for Christmas. Let's turn to meteorologist Nathan Scott to find out more about our weekend outlook. Nathan, what can we expect heading into the big weekend?
Well, Jurnee, the dress code out there over the past couple days has been t-shirts and shorts, and that will continue through the weekend, but big changes arrive here for Sunday evening as a front will swing its way through. More on that in just 1 second, but look at the records that were shattered across many locations here in Arkansas. I think the most significant one was Fort Smith. They shattered their record from 1889. It was 79, got up to 80 degrees, but Fayetteville, DeQueen, Texarkana, El Dorado, Jonesboro either tied or broke their records. It was 85 in Texarkana this afternoon. Temperatures right now into the 70s will settle down eventually into the upper 50s to lower 60s to begin your Saturday. And also watch out for the potential of some areas of fog developing late tonight and for the start of the weekend. Some of this fog could be quite dense, reducing the visibility quarter mile or less than that. So there could be a dense fog advisory issued late tonight and for the beginning of Saturday. Temperatures tomorrow still into the 70s, although I think we're going to see a lot more clouds than what we saw out there today, just because that fog and those low clouds will be very stubborn. But here's what I'm talking about: the significant temperature difference that will be unfolding getting into next week. We go from 70 for the high on Sunday, with temperatures dropping down into the 30s Monday morning, and with gusty winds, it's going to feel like the teens and 20s. More on those big changes and the chance of showers and storms as this front makes its way through coming up.
All right, Nathan, thank you. An investigation is underway after a suspected homicide in Southwest Little Rock. First responders were called to 27 Falcon Court. Once arriving, officers found Brandon Johnson with gunshot wounds. He later died at the scene and was taken to the Pulaski County Coroner. Little Rock Police has determined Jeremiah Lowry to be the suspect. Lowry was arrested and is being charged with capital murder. A driver is facing charges after a deadly car crash in Little Rock. The accident happened overnight after 1 this morning on Asher Avenue. Police tried to stop Caleb Green while speeding. They later followed him after turning on their lights. That's when he drove off of a curve, hitting an electric pole, leading to a rollover and then crashing into a building. Both Green and his minor passenger were sent to local hospitals to treat their injuries. The passenger later died. Green is being charged with first-degree murder, criminal mischief, fleeing, and reckless driving. Well, we have more details are being released about 2 foreign policy actions overseas. Olivia Renati has more.
President Trump announces Christmas Day airstrikes against ISIS militants in Nigeria as negotiations to end the war in Ukraine continue. This is the burnt area Nigerian police cordoned off on Friday after U.S. military officials said they conducted airstrikes against Islamic State forces. The Defense Department also released this video of what it says was one of the missiles launched late Thursday. President Trump claimed in a social media post the Christmas Day operation targeted ISIS terrorists who have been killing, quote, primarily innocent Christians. President Trump called the strikes numerous and deadly, but did not offer additional details, like what was specifically targeted or the number of casualties. The Nigerian government, however, did say they shared intelligence with the U.S. before the attack. A Nigerian Islamic cleric criticized the airstrikes, saying it targeted a predominantly Muslim area with no history of Christian persecution.
There was never any incident of persecution of Christians in Sokoto states. Their churches were not attacked.
The military action in Nigeria comes amid a sign that diplomatic efforts to end the nearly 4-year war in Ukraine may be intensifying. On Friday, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky told reporters he'll likely meet with President Trump in Florida on Sunday to discuss, among other things, security guarantees for Ukraine. Zelensky's announcement came after he said he had a good conversation with U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner on Christmas. While President Zelensky says he will meet with President Trump in Florida later this week, the White House is not yet confirming that meeting. Olivia Rinaldi, CBS News, the White House.
All right, well, staying with the White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt has something to look forward to in 2026. That's a new baby. In a social media post on Friday, Levitt announced she was pregnant with a baby girl. She says she is due in May. She ended her message by writing she can't wait to be a girl mom. Levitt and her husband welcomed their first child in July of 2024. For decades, a Little Rock art teacher inspired creativity in the classroom. Tonight, much of the art community is coming together for her after a fire took her home on Christmas Eve. THV11's Tanya Materziski hears from her loved ones on how they'll help her rebuild.
I mean, she left here with the clothes on her back, her purse, her 2 dogs, and we're still looking for one of the cats.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, she's just super sad.
For years, Angela Cummings taught people how to create something out of nothing. After losing everything, including her home on Christmas Eve to a fire, her best friend, Kelly Edwards, and grandson, Sam Hoffman, are hoping people are still in the giving spirit.
She's been a teacher her whole life.
Yes.
She was a teacher at the Arkansas Art Center. She was an adjunct professor at Hendrix. She's a substitute teacher at Central now. You know, she's been involved and
And a piano teacher as
And
well.
a piano teacher, that's right.
And a great friend. You know, I've been an artist for many, many years, and she gave me the opportunity to be a teacher.
Hoffman says his grandmother was at home on Christmas Eve when a neighbor knocked on her door.
So they saw smoke rising out of the bathroom window, so she then runs right back up and, well, there's a fire. Fire extinguishers just couldn't put it out in time.
While the structure still stands, they say everything inside is gone and is inhabitable.
I mean, this house is on the historic register. It's over 100 years old. I lived with her growing up. I'm in college now in Fayetteville, but it's really a sad thing. She's lived here for a very, very long time, and she's been a pillar of the community.
Edwards and Hoffman are helping Angela turn loss into a blank canvas for a new beginning.
You know, and life is never going to be the same again, but at least she can carry on.
In Little Rock, Tanya Motorzitsky, THV 11 News.
An investigation is underway after a fire at the former Rotary Club facility. The incident happened at 621 East Capitol last night in Little Rock. Once reaching the scene, the fire spread to the second floor in the attic. First responders spent almost 3 hours battling the fire. At this time, no one was inside when flames broke out. Stay with THV 11 as we learn more. Now, we are learning more about the second biggest jackpot in lottery history, a ticket sold right here in Arkansas. THV 11's Carter Threet spent the day at the Cabot gas station where this ticket was sold and tell us what we know so far.
I was thinking, I was like, man, I should have bought a ticket.
There's probably a lot of people thinking that here in Cabot, especially if they tend to visit this Murphy USA store just off I-57.
I thought it was great, especially here at this gas station, which we come to a couple times a week.
That's because this store just made history, selling a Powerball ticket that ended up winning a $1.8 billion jackpot, the second biggest in the game's history. It's the first time since 2010 a ticket sold in Arkansas has won the Powerball.
We haven't had any contact from the winner who is holding the winning ticket yet at this point.
Sharon Strong is the director of the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery. She says they don't know who won yet, and for all they know, it may not even be an Arkansan. But the ticket being sold here is a win in itself.
People think, oh, no one from Arkansas ever wins these things, and you know, it's a small state. It's always the states that have larger population. But I think this just goes to show that it really can be anybody, anywhere.
Murphy USA is certainly excited. While employees at the winning gas station weren't able to give interviews, the Arkansas-based company did send us a statement which reads in part, "We are so happy to play a part in our customers' everyday fill-up and in these special customers' life-changing moments." It certainly will be life-changing for somebody, though not any of the people that I interviewed.
We didn't buy any more tickets on Wednesday, and now we regret it.
That's a blessing for someone, and you know, I hope that that person really needed it.
In Cabot, Carter Thweet, THV 11 News.
Well, thank you, Carter. There's another reason for Murphy USA to be happy. The gas station that sold the winning ticket will also get a $50,000 reward. As for the winner, they have 180 days to claim their prize. It's going to have to claim it here in Little Rock, and of course can remain anonymous for up to 3 years.